not look the way that we had hoped in the first game. And many people are calling for a Russell Westbrook trade, although I don't think that Russell Westbrook was to blame for yesterday. I thought he actually played really well. But nonetheless, I know people want to just see Russell Westbrook traded. Even Charles Barkley last night said, it'd just be good for a fresh start for the Lakers, and as well as Russell Westbrook. And Rob Pelinka is supposed to start exploring trades. Now, originally we got a report that as soon as the season started, that Rob Pelinka would start ramping up trade discussions once again. But we just got a new update from Woj that was kind of reiterating exactly what I've been saying here for the last week or so as to what Rob's kind of plans and ideas are for a Russell Westbrook trade. So here's what Woj had to say. He said, "I'm told to expect Rob Pelinka and the Lakers to wait until post-Thanksgiving, 20 games into the season, and see what teams may start pivoting. Who don't start off well, who decides that they may start to look to unload players and perhaps get involved in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes," per Woj. Now, this is what I've been reiterating time and time again. I even made a video a couple hours ago at the time of recording this where I talked about how the Lakers need, and us fans, we need to start rooting for some of these, tanking teams, the OKC, the Spurs, the Pacers, and even teams that may not turn out to be as good as we had hoped, right? There was even some word that the Lakers are keeping an eye on the Chicago Bulls, right? The Chicago Bulls were the 6th seed last year, and you have the Atlanta Hawks, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Cleveland Cavaliers who all got better. And the Bulls are already, down a man with Lonzo Ball. So, 20, 30 games in, are they terrible? And they just decide to start blowing it up and going in another direction. The point is, and the thing that I keep reiterating here on this channel, because it's true, is that the Lakers are in the best position to just stay patient. Russell Westbrook, his trade value is only going to increase as the season progresses because it's less and less money that teams have to pay to basically waive him or whatever. And any team that is the tanking teams, right, they're going to want to evaluate and see, where are we? Are we too good to really go get, a Victor and Scoot? Or if we unload these, 3 guys, can we actually be really good? As far as tanking wise, not good in the sense of winning games. And the Lakers are in a position where they're the only team that has a contract like Russell Westbrook. The only team that has $47 million as an expiring contract that a team could waive, which means that teams can unload multiple guys in one swoop instead of finding, 5 different deals or whatever, right? Now, this isn't just pertaining to the Lakers. I mean, many teams, many contending teams, and even teams that are just, pretty good, maybe they're not contenders, but they're pretty good, are going to get deals that they probably never would have gotten otherwise, right? They're going to get deals, and teams are going to be essentially fleecing themselves just for a chance to go get this kid, Victor Wembanyama. Something else to kind of give people context is that they've done polls and just, talks with several GMs in the league, right? And Victor Wembanyama would be the equivalent of, when he's drafting $500 million. $500 million is Victor's value as a player. That's just from a business sense. That's not even counting if he turns out to be the face of the league or a big superstar. Just with all the merch, the ticket sales, all the little promotions and advertising and marketing and all the things that Victor will bring to that team is equivalent to roughly $500 million. That's the Golden State Warriors tax bill next season, right? That Victor would bring any team in the league. That's not to mention him actually playing and being good. The same GMs said that if Victor broke both of his legs, there's not a single GM that wouldn't draft him number 1 overall. Just because he is that transcending, that talented, that good. And there are going to be a lot of teams that really believe that they have a chance to get Victor and are going to make and move off of guys that you never even thought that they would have, right? I've seen rumors and just talks, nothing concrete, but about the Pacers maybe moving off of Chris Duarte, right? And I've seen tons of Pacer fans. There's no way Indiana would never do that, this, that, and the other. If they believe that they have a chance to get Victor Wembanyama, they would move off of him this time last year. They would trade the entire roster if it meant getting Victor. That's how transcending he is. And look, fans may be upset, but they're not going to be if they end up getting Victor. If they end up getting Victor and they win a championship in the next 3 to 5 years, in hindsight, nobody's going to even remember who Chris Stewart is. It's just, that's my point, is that teams are going to unload guys that they usually wouldn't unload otherwise. If there were no restrictions to tanking, right? And if the number one worst team got the number one overall pick, you would be disgusted by the level of tanking that teams would do for Victor. We have never seen a prospect like Victor Wembanyama. He might be, if not the greatest, he's hands down one of the greatest prospects we've ever seen. And I'm talking over Wilt, Kareem, LeBron, you name it. He is a better prospect than all of them at his age. He is just, he's unbelievable. He, like LeBron said, he's not a unicorn, he's an alien. We've never seen somebody like this. Somebody that's 7'5", that can play and move like a guard, that can completely take over games. I mean, go watch his Las Vegas showing. It was disgusting. I mean, there's NBA players now that are really good NBA players that can't do some of the stuff that he was able to do. And at 7'5" with shoes on, this kid is unbelievable. He is this guy might be a multi-generational talent. You always hear the word he's a generational talent. He might be a multi-generational talent. And this draft is still very deep beyond him. Even if you don't get Victor, if you get Scoot Henderson, or the Thompson twins, guys like that, there's a lot of players in this draft that people think are going to be really good, that are going to make a real impact and be game changers for many teams and many franchises. So you're going to see a lot of teams that are okay with just embracing the tank, throwing it all away. And you're going to see teams that are projected to be good that aren't very good. You're going to have that team that turns out to be good that wasn't supposed to be good. All of the things, we see it every single year, right? Every year you see a team that no one expected that comes out of the woodworks and turns out to be really good, right? And then you see the team that people thought was going to be really good that turns out to be terrible. That team might just blow it up. And so we need to keep an eye on teams like I said, like Chicago, Indiana. If Indiana wins, let's say Indiana goes 3-0 or 4-0 or something like that, don't be shocked if they panic sell. Don't be shocked if they basically give away Turner and Hield to the Lakers for whatever. Here you go, take whatever you want. We'll take a second. Just because they're not going to risk not getting a top pick in this year's draft for that. Portland's another team you could look out for, right? I don't think that they'll trade Damian Lillard, but maybe we could get a Nurkic, Grant, and Josh Hart. Something imagine if we could get those three. That could work, right? They're probably not going to be very good. Their pick is top 14 protected. The Chicago owns their pick, but if it lands in the top 14, they end up getting to keep that pick. So they may look at it as hey, we're not very good. Damian Lillard, all of a sudden you have a leg injury, so you're going to sit out the next 30 games. Sharp, you're going to end up having some back issue and you're young and we're going to just have you sit. And we're going to trade all of the other guys. Maybe you keep Simon or something. And you're hey, let's go get, a Scoot Henderson or a Victor to pair with Sharp, Damian Lillard, Simon, guys like that. You go get Victor, you're great, right? Maybe Damian Lillard can win a championship in his career time. I mean, that's how good this guy is projected to be. So I just think at the end of the day, you're going to see a lot of teams that are going to be willing to do whatever it takes. And Rob Pelinka, and I've said this so many times on this channel, in live streams, videos, everything, Rob Pelinka needs to remain and continue to be patient. There are going to be options on this table that he never imagined he's going to get. There's going to be trades that he's going to find that he's just going to stumble in. You don't even have to be a good GM. You're going to have teams calling you up hey, how many players on my team do you want? And do you want them all right now? It's going to be so easy because of Victor. Victor is going to make trading just for not just the Lakers, all teams. I'm telling you, you're going to see some pretty questionable trades. You're going to see some Pau Gasol to the Lakers level trades where you're what? Why did they do that? Because their excuse is if they get Victor, guess what? I don't care if we traded our entire roster. If you're the Chicago Bulls, right, and you're terrible, and you end up getting the number one pick, and you trade Levine, you trade, DeMar, you trade whoever, and you end up Victor, nobody's going to care that you just did that because everyone knows that you just got Victor for at least the next 10 years. And now you could build a new contender around him. Like, it's unbelievable. So Rob Pelinka's got to remain smart. He's got to remain patient. Don't rush. 20 games or so will give us a good sample size. Not just that, but come to have all kinds of players that become available to trade, right? And so with that, you're almost better waiting off because, come December, January, you have guys like Patrick Beverley, $12 million that you could actually unload and trade. And with the 125% rule, you can maybe, get a mid-tier guy, stuff like that. So you're going to be able to trade a lot of these guys beyond just Russell Westbrook to go get other deals. So that's another reason why the Lakers should be smart and remain patient. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. However you feel, whatever you think.